5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hey everybody, you are tuned into Uptown with Mona, your go-to show for everything poetry, hip-hop, and entertainment. I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and we've got a dope show for you today. So sit back, relax, and let's get this party started right. Hey, boo, how y'all doing? What is going on, everybody? It's your girl, Mona B. I am so happy to be here. You know me, every Monday, I'm just really happy. I don't know why this looks like this. Every Monday, I am so happy. What the heck am I doing? You see the background, Tamika? It looks wrong. I should have put a different background, but anyway. All right, so I look a little crazy right now, y'all. But it's your girl Mona. We here, we doing it. We are going to have fun this evening, right? Let me get started and do my introduction so y'all to know. Welcome to Uptown with Mona. We meet every Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and sometimes Instagram. And again on Thursday at 6 p.m. on withoutwarningradio.com. Please go to Uptown with Mona, last name Baudet on Facebook. So it's Uptown with Mona, my last name is Baudet on Facebook, and join because that page is feeling really lonely. Also, uptown.with.mona on Instagram is also feeling really neglected. Okay, I need y'all to join those pages. I need you to tell your friends, even if they don't go to the show, just join the page. They feeling real lonely. I'm feeling real lonely, so I need y'all to help your girl out over here, you know. If you have an interesting story and you want to be interviewed by me, hit me up at uptownwithmona@gmail.com. Also, December 16th, 2024, at Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue at 7 p.m., The Naughty List, a Mocha Lounge reunion, and it's going down. We are going to have erotic poetry. We're going to have erotic Q&A. We're going to have some games, some fun and games. It's going to be a lot of fun. So y'all need to make sure y'all are there at 7 p.m. October 16th. So, all righty. And with that, I feel like I'm rushing. Let me relax because I'm just really excited about having this guy come on the show because, I think he's really dope. I don't know. I remember when I first met him, he was like, nah, I don't really do a lot of poetry. I'm just starting out. And that nigga opened his mouth and I was like, nah, he's lying. He got to be lying because he's real dope. And y'all are going to find him dope too. So I'm going to introduce Hattress, the poet. You are the dopest. I think you are, and I think you have been here before because your poetry is real dope.
No, I appreciate you, Mona.
Yeah.
And shout out to you because I remember the first time I met you, I think it was at Mocha. First time
Was
I
it
met you.
Mocha or was it
Or
at?
either Red Lobster.
I
But
think it was Red Lobster. It might have been Red Lobster. I'm not
but
sure.
I was stopping by Mocha here and there. I was just a little nervous about the erotic poetry. That wasn't my bag, but like
Right.
you so good at that. It was amazing to see.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I've been doing that shit for so long. I mean, it's like I could do it in my sleep.
Nah, I
I've
love
been
it.
doing it forever. And believe it or not, when I first started doing erotic poetry, oh my God, I don't remember I vaguely remember the first poem I did, but I remember I did it. It had to be about maybe 15 years ago when I had my first started Microphone Fiends. It was this 2010. And hun, whew, I did my first erotic poem. My ears got red. My ears got hot. My face got red. I'm trying to spit this poem, and I'm like, I can't finish this. And everybody was like, no, you got to finish the poem. Come on, Mona, you got to finish.
Yeah.
After I finished, I got that standing ovation. I was like, oh, wait a
See, like
minute.
you a seasoned vet. When I met you, I think I did like 2 shows at that
Mm-hmm.
time. So it's like I wasn't even I wouldn't even call myself a poet. I thought it was
You was
disrespectful to
just
say.
hanging out at the time. You was just hanging out.
I was
I
chilling.
think.
I was
Yeah,
chilling.
just hanging out, chilling out.
Yeah. Just scoping the scene. Sometimes I like to see what's going on before I jump in
Right,
there.
right.
Yeah.
When you opened your mouth, I was like, "Oh shit."
I appreciate that.
I said, "He's lying. He been lying about. He been lying. He been lying." So
Nah.
okay, so here's how this go. It's
Okay.
16 questions. I call it 16 bars. I'm gonna ask you 16 questions. We're gonna chat, elaborate as often as much as you need to. There is no time limit on my show. We just talk and we bullshit, however long it take. Okay.
Got you.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna start with the first question. And the first question is, what inspired you to start? Oh wait, before I ask you that question, how was your day?
Thank you.
How was your
Nah.
day?
My day was cool.
Mm,
So I'm an educator and I work with a nonprofit called the Brotherhood Sister Soul
okay.
right here in the Heights. And they're out of school today, but we took them out to dinner. We took them to
Oh, that's
uh
that. How old?
they so this group that I had today, they're in 10th grade.
Okay.
But a lot of them didn't come. I think only like 5 of them came because they're out of school. So they're like they don't want to come when they're out of school. So we just
Okay.
we broke bread together, had a good dinner. Um,
Mhm.
but then during the time, I caught the news because it was on, and I saw that like a 7-year-old girl was killed
Yes,
on
yes, I read
145th and
that.
Bradhurst,
What
and I
happened? Do you
just
know what the backstory is
so
behind
I
it?
don't know the backstory, but I know I was just over there, and it kind of hit me a little hard because that's why I work. I work in that area, and they were just over there because we had to take the train to where we were going. And I just started to be a part of this collective, and
Mhm.
we had our first meeting yesterday, and our whole thing is to target youth
Mhm.
violence.
Mhm.
Um, Now, more than likely, I'm pretty sure that that wasn't a 7-year-old person doing the shooting, right?
Mhm.
But just the gun violence in our community is hitting real close to home these days, and
It's horrible. It's really,
yeah,
really, really horrible.
yeah. So
It's,
that kind of just took me for a loop. So I'm just
mhm.
excuse me while I shake off that energy
No, I get
right
it.
now.
I get it. I get it. I understand. I saw the art. I saw it today on what's it there? Citizen on the Citizens app.
Citizens app, yeah,
I
they
had to
had it on
turn.
like 3 different news channels. Like
I had
even
to
when I
like
walked
turn that
home, I
thing
saw
off.
it.
I had to turn it off because
Yeah,
it's too much.
that's
I don't
horrible,
even
man.
watch the news anymore. So it's too much. It's just way too much going on.
Mona, that's where I'm at now. Like I
Mhm.
don't watch the news because it's like during the times when I started writing poetry, I was like heavily into politics, heavily into like our economy and just social justice. And I
Mhm.
realized like during the pandemic that like this shit is always gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
the more I tap into this, the more I'm depleting myself for like my family and like the people who actually need me. So, you gotta detach sometimes. But to answer your question, to go back to the one, my fault. What
Nah, nah,
inspired me?
nah, nah. It's okay. It's okay.
What inspired me to write poetry? Damn, I've been writing for a long time. So I like to separate writing and performing poetry because I
Okay.
think those are two different arts. As much as we act like it's not, those are right. Like you could be a great writer and a horrible performer, and you could be a great performer and a horrible writer. And
Right.
like so, like I like to distinguish the two. But as far as writing is concerned, um, I don't know. I was thrown into black arts and black poetry at a young age. I went to FDA
Mm-hmm.
Academy, so uh, I know why the Cage Birds Sing was like one of the first books we had to read at that school.
Right.
Um,
Wow, I read that book. I
yeah,
don't know what year I read that book in school. Could have been ninth grade or something like that. I
yeah.
don't
It
even
was. I
remember.
think it was like for us. It was like we had to read it going into the middle school, so it was like sixth grade. I had to
Or
read it.
something like that. Right,
Yeah.
right.
But that kind of opened me up to the rest of her work because her life story was just so interesting to me. Like to not talk for so many years because you felt like your voice killed somebody, and
Right.
then when you do talk, you are the most wise, profound individual on the planet.
Yes, yes.
So that she inspired me because I really got, after I read that book, I got a book of her collection of poetry,
Mm-hmm.
and reading that like often kind of inspired me to like write because like I felt like Maya transcended race and
Okay.
gender and all of that. She spoke to human emotion, and at in eighth grade, like I didn't know what I was going through, but I knew that I didn't feel alone. Like, you know what I mean? Like this person is speaking to emotions that some of which I haven't even felt yet. But
Okay.
I can recognize that, and it's like I appreciated that art. Um but to actually start writing poetry, I think it was that poetry jam.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
What was that, like 01, 2001,
Might have been 2000, maybe
2000?
something like that.
That poetry jam, and it was specifically Black Ice.
Yeah. That
Um
guy's is dope. I tried to get
yo,
him. I tried to get to interview
yo,
him, but that's a whole
Black
nother story.
Let me know. I hit him up. Like we've been in communication recently. He's reached out to me, uh,
Mm.
which is crazy. Like it's a
Well,
full
we need to
circle
talk.
thing.
We need to talk about that after the show.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Because I definitely would love to interview him.
Yeah, Black Ice is dope, man. Like
He
he's a
is dope.
genuine dude. So it's like
Mm.
shout out to him for like giving game and just like really talking to me and like speaking life into me and recognizing my craft when
Mm.
that's like one of the first people that I saw that could do this thing on a big stage. And I was like, yo, you could do that?
Hmm.
Like I didn't even know you could do that. So it was just like, yeah, he was the first person that made me like sit down and write a poem.
Right.
Yeah, like I
When
wrote a
did you
poem.
do your first big show? When did you do your first big show?
What do you call
And
a
I'm asking for a reason because
okay? So it just depends on what you call a big show. Because like for me, like because like your wants and your needs change as you go through this, right? So it's
right.
like for me, my first big show
Mm.
was my first
Show.
open mic performance, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
big show.
Where was that?
That was at New York. That was at New York.
Okay.
Um, and it was funny how it happened because I wasn't planning to do any poetry,
Okay.
right? Like I went as an audience member, and the person that I was with put my name on the list and didn't tell me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so like they just called me up. And you know how New York is on Mondays and Wednesdays. It was a packed
Mm-hmm.
house. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
like my first time getting on stage with a poem that I don't quite even have memorized. Like I felt like I was like, oh, you set me up.
Mm.
Um, but I did it, and like I caught the bug after that. It was just like I suck right now, but I'm gonna get better. It was like
Right.
so now
Right.
after Mike, I'm a fiend. Like I'm going twice a week, and then I'm going
Oh.
to other open mics, and I'm hollering at Brother Earl at Red Lobster, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pulling up everywhere just to work out, just to work out. So like I would say that's my first big show. But as far as like, because like when I realized like, okay, I'm decent at this, because
Mm.
that's a whole different show.
Nah, you're more than decent, bro.
I
You're
appreciate
more than
that.
decent. More than decent.
I appreciate that. But you know how like we're artists, so we're always gonna like be self-critical, super self-critical. And I think a part of that helps the art, right? Like just understanding that like you're not the best that you could be. So there's always like a gap between like your taste level and your ability. And our job is to minimize that gap every day.
Right.
But I would say the first time that I actually realized like, oh shit, I'm all right, was
Hello.
I was doing inspired word shows. I
Okay.
don't know if you're familiar with Mike.
I know. I'm not I probably know him, but I know the show.
Yeah,
Inspired Words. I know the show.
yeah. So I was
Oh,
doing
wait a minute.
those
That's
shows.
Mike Giffner.
Yeah,
I know Mike Giffner. Yeah.
yeah. I leave my comments to myself, but I was
Mm.
doing those shows.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to like figure out that system because like
Okay.
you got to sell tickets. So not only do you have to be a good artist, you got to be a good promoter, right? In
Okay.
order to make it back. And I remember it was one show. It was a September show. I never forget it. It's a
Okay.
September show, and he had Hellphone, a venue in Brooklyn,
Mm.
and I sold out the venue. Like I sold out the venue. Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
I was just like, oh shit, like people actually like what I do. Like that was when
Mm-hmm.
it clicked, like, whoa, like I'm an entertainer now. Like, what does that look like? How am
Yes.
I supposed to be now? Like, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
that was
Yes.
I think that was my first big show.
Hmm. My first big big show was a show called Freak Nasty. It was all erotic. This was back in the day, man. It's called
I
Freak
love that
Nasty.
name.
We used to all go to Mocha Lounge. You know, Mocha Lounge was really hot back in the day,
Uh-huh.
right? And one of the guys there, Ainsley Burroughs, he had this other show called Freak Nasty. And Freak Nasty entailed poets. It had burlesque dancers. It had
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things going on. And he pulled me to the side. He said, Mona, I want you to spit at Freak Nasty. And I'm like, me? I was like, oh my God, I'm fucking nervous. I didn't even get on the stage that he's just telling me about it and I'm nervous. So he
What was
said,
the
I want you.
venue?
It was, I don't even remember. It was somewhere downtown. I don't even
Okay.
remember where it was at. I know JP was the host and I was the last, I think I was the last poet. I think I was the last poet.
Yeah, you gotta close out with your material. Yeah, they knew what they was doing. They was like, yeah, we got
I didn't do
she
that
going.
piece. He didn't want me to do that poem.
Oh, wow.
He wanted me to do something different. He didn't want that poem because he didn't want nothing that rhymes. A lot of my stuff, it has a
Oh,
kind of a rhyme, but he wanted something that didn't rhyme. And I have
okay.
that piece. It's called Penis. And he wanted me to spit that piece. And I spit the poem and I forgot some of the lines during the poem. And I'm like, oh my God. And during the middle of the poem, I was like, oh my God, I forgot my line. And everybody was like,
Ooh.
penis. And everybody just started saying penis. And I finally got it. I mean, and that was my first time being in that type of a scene.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, I like this.
Yeah, it's a hell of a
Yeah, I
feeling.
like this because I've done other shows. I've done shows with this chick named Clark. She had a really dope venue called Sisters Black Like Me, and
Mm-hmm.
her show was like every month or every couple of months. I mean, it was a big event. Earl's been on that show.
Mm-hmm.
William Washington. I mean, Abiodun. I mean, I've gotten on stage with some people
Yeah,
through her, and I learned how to perform because of her.
that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I
It
would
was
say I
dope.
learned how to perform because of the likes of y'all, like you, brother Earl.
Mhm.
Um, Definitely brother Earl for like he mentored me. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he really took me under his wing. And I'm not even just talking about poetry. Like we would talk outside, like
Mhm.
outside of the Mondays. Like I call him like, yo, what you think about this?
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Like,
Well,
so
he's dope. Brother Earl is
yeah,
dope.
no,
He's a
definitely.
vet. He's a real vet. He's old. He's a vet. He's been doing this shit forever, longer than
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like the new Jack, and I've been
Got
in the
you.
business almost 20 years, and I'm the new Jack.
I,
So
you seasoned though. I was like, so just watching y'all operate at Mocha, I was just like, oh, this is a different type of like just understanding the crowd. Like you pick up
yeah,
certain things, you know what I
yeah,
mean, that
yeah,
I think
yeah,
the new generation could really tap in with and learn from.
yeah, yeah. I wish it was still around, but Mocha. But I don't know. You never know. Anything is
When
possible.
when is the next joint? You say y'all doing like a Mocha
We're doing
reunion,
a
right?
reunion. It's October the 16th
Of next
of
year?
of this year.
November the
I'm
16th.
sorry. My bad. I don't
Got
know why
you.
I'm thinking about October. December 16th,
December. Okay.
2024 starts at 7 p.m. Showtime is at 8 p.m. and we on to like maybe 11 or
Where's the
12 or
venue?
whatever. Comedy in Harlem.
Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
45th, 47th. It's ain't that right?
147. I haven't been
Got
to
you.
the new spot, but they said it's dope. They said it's a dope spot.
Yeah, I've been there. I
But let me
performed
get
there
to
one
these.
time.
Let me
My
get to
fault.
these questions, man.
My fault. My
We
fault. We
just
gonna chat
no,
it up.
it ain't your fault. It's us. We just chatting it up. We ain't see each other. We ain't talked to each other in a long time. Sure. All right. Question number 2. Can you describe your creative process? Do you have any particular rituals or routines when before you perform?
Mm. Before I perform,
Before you perform or before you when your process getting your poems
all
together, stuff like that.
right. So like before I perform now, I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, and this might sound like some dickhead shit. I'm not even gonna hold you
It sounds some dick said shit.
like like um I don't I don't the only ritual I have before I perform is make sure I have a drink. Right?
Okay.
Like that's about it. And I don't even think about what I'm about to perform anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've lost the love of performance. Like I appreciate for what it is, but like I don't feel the same way about it. Like I used to feel like, oh my God, like I'm jittery, blah blah blah, and like
I
that,
understand that. I
right?
definitely
Like
understand that.
so,
I
like even
understand that.
I did Apollo twice. I didn't feel nothing.
Shut up. You did
Um,
Apollo?
yeah,
Oh,
I didn't feel anything. I think I've come to the point where you know I got to certain places and realized that's not where I wanted to be.
okay.
Um, and when I write from a very personal place,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it can be taxing
Okay.
to just give all of that all the time and relive certain things that I don't want to relive that is like wearing on me. So I kind of look at performing as a burden these days. That's why I don't perform too much these days. Like
Okay.
I host spaces, I hold space for other people to perform. But for
Are you
me,
still at that other spot up there? Where was you? On 150 something
I
street?
was at Karan, but no. So now I run a monthly showcase for singers and poets,
Okay.
downtown and
Please
midtown.
send me the
I
information because
got you. I
maybe
got you.
maybe I'm not saying I'm gonna come, but you never know. I may pop in. You never know.
It's a
With
cool little
me,
vibe. It's a
mm,
vibe, and it's like it's not the open mic scene.
the
Shout out to the open mic
hexagon was
scene.
very nice. I liked the hexagon.
Yeah, Hex was cool. Hex was cool.
Hexagon was pretty cool. It was nice. It gave me a mocha vibe.
It was intimate, but you could
Right.
still hold a lot of people there and still
Right.
conjugate. It was a good vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but as far so that's my performance process. I don't really have a routine. It's just like I show up and I figure out what poem I'm about to do as soon as I get on stage. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's my routine for that. But as far as my writing process, um, that's a lot more intimate. Like I
Okay.
actually make time for that. I actually create spaces in my day to like get that done. So like
Okay.
early mornings is when I'm usually, and then late nights, of course, that's typically how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Or wherever inspiration hits. Um, but I've also been challenging myself. Like I've been doing a lot of rapping lately,
Okay.
so I've been challenging myself to like in my downtime on the weekends, if I'm here, if I'm in the house, I'm chilling or whatever, I have to
Mm-hmm.
be working on something.
Okay.
And that's the only way I don't feel guilty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't
Yeah.
just not be working. So that's what I've been doing.
I understand that. I write anymore? Really? I may write a sentence here,
Mm-hmm.
do a couple sentence, then I put it down,
Mm-hmm.
then I come back to it, and I'm looking at it like, what the fuck was I thinking about when I wrote that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. Because I'm like you. It doesn't. It's like that was that time. Now it's time to do
Something
something
else.
something
Yeah.
different, which is
Yeah.
how I got involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing it with JP and him pushing me, start your own show, start your own. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I'd rather be Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin. He's like, no, do your own show. You need to do your own show. And now I'm doing 2 shows.
Look at
How about
you.
that?
And that's called the art of evolution is important, right? Because like
Yeah.
sometimes we get stuck in certain places that don't serve us no more.
Right, right.
And our job is to acknowledge when it stops serving us and then pivot.
And
Right.
move on
Yeah.
to the next.
Yeah, but I'm still a writer at heart, and I think there's a beauty in revisiting, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a beauty in like you write that one line today and then come back next month and be like, yo, what the fuck was this? Let me add to this though. Like you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like there's a
right.
beauty in telling that story as long as it may take. You know what I
And
mean?
I haven't really been writing too much erotic.
Oh
It's more
word.
love, more love.
I mean, erotic is love too, right? There's,
But
there's some love there.
it ain't the Mona erotic lately. It ain't Mona erotic,
Got you. Got
It's
you.
just I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me. Whatever. It is, it's happening the way it's supposed to happen.
That sounds like a beautiful transformation.
And that's it.
Word.
But let's move on to the third question. How do you choose the themes or the subjects for your poems?
Life. That's an easy
Okay.
answer. Um,
Yes, yes,
I,
yes.
I I would consider myself an artist, so it's like I don't try to pigeonhole myself into, and I felt like that at a certain point in time. Like when I first started doing poetry, I was the angry political poet,
Right.
and then I put out an EP of love poems, right? Like just to show another side of me because it's like I'm a person first.
Right.
And like we as people, we feel anger, we feel hurt, we feel grief, we feel sorrow, we feel all
Right.
of these things. So I think as artists, it's our job to tap into those emotions and not just stay stuck in one
Mm.
box. And that's probably why, honestly, that's probably why I feel like I haven't, because that's not good for a brand, right? Like, because people want you to just be one thing and do
Mm.
one thing. And the moment you show them, like, hey, I'm not just this one thing, I do all this other shit too,
I get it.
it's hard to
Because,
digest.
everybody hear me. Who's Mona? You say my name. What's the
Mm-hmm.
first word? What's the first word that comes to mind?
Moan.
No, erotic. So stupid. You're so stupid. Erotic. When they say my
Facts
name,
though. Cause
you're
you
so
be saying your name
stupid.
on a mic like that.
Be like,
Mona.
Mona. But yeah, yeah. When you think of Mona, when you say you think of my name, you think of erotic
Erotic poetry.
poetry.
Yeah.
You think of
So
Mona Helen.
how did you handle that?
What do you mean?
Like, so like obviously you wrote a whole bunch of shit. Like you didn't
Mhm.
just write erotic poetry. Like, did you ever get tired of them? Like, yo, I need you to spit that penis poem. Or I need you to
I still, to this day, that poem is about 12 years old.
mm-hmm,
And that poem, the one, what's it called? iPhone Masturbation,
mm-hmm,
is 12 years old. And still, everyone always, when I start spitting, there's always Alyssa or a couple other people
mm-hmm.
that know me. They're like, iPhone masturbation. Do
Damn. You
iPhone,
said
do
12 years
iPhone.
old? That must have been the first iPhone. That must have
I know, right? That was the first iPhone. That was the iPhone 6.
That was the first one they made,
Yo,
huh?
that's funny. iPhone, that was the iPhone 6.
Oh man.
Oh
It's been a
man. And
while.
that poem has whew, it's about 3 or 4 of them poems that everyone, when they hear those poems, they're like, yeah,
When they
I
see
need
you,
you
they
to
want to hear that.
they want
Yeah.
to hear that.
Yeah.
But it's
I done
always,
been in the venues and seen them request things from you. So I
you
definitely
see?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I walk on the mic, iPhone. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they say. iPhone. No, no, I'm done. I be trying to retire that piece. It's never gonna go. It's never going away. So
I've definitely retired. I've retired one poem so far in my
mm,
catalog.
I have not. It's always gonna be a part of me.
I can't do it anymore. It was
I
just too
still
much.
do it. I still do it. I mean, I'll do it as long as they ask for it, I
No,
guess.
I love that. I love that for you.
Hmm.
I think for this poem, the waves poem,
Yeah.
the where I'm like nappy headed nigga, blah
Hmm.
blah. Like, and I'm saying this, and I was performing this in front of white crowds who were
Mm.
familiar with my work,
Right.
and like at that part, I would hear people say it back to me, like crowd participation thing.
Hmm.
But now I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, everybody in here ain't black. Right, like, so I don't know who's saying this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the show
Right.
must go on. So I was just like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna put that down for a little bit. I'm gonna focus on some other work.
Hmm. Okay. I got a couple a couple of old that I had, like, that I've spit that I haven't memorized, that
Mm-hmm.
are really dope. But I'm not doing that no more.
We
I
about
don't
to
know.
bring you back outside, Mona, for
Ah,
sure.
and I don't think so. But anyway, number 4. Are there are there are there specific poems or literary moments that have influenced your work?
Um, Specific poets, of course, Maya Angelou.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Literary movements, definitely the Harlem Renaissance, as cliche as it sounds, right?
Okay.
Like, but that's just the reality of it because the work that was produced during that time, James Baldwin,
Mm-hmm.
Langston Hughes,
Mm-hmm.
specifically James Baldwin, though. I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest with you, like I love Langston, um, but Baldwin had he had fire with him, like he was feisty, like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like he was talking to America and then was able to appeal to the whites, but then
Right.
also tell them about themselves in a very
Mm-hmm.
real way.
Very
He also,
eloquently.
yeah, eloquently. He also, honestly, he also has a, a sense of patriarchy subtle patriarchy inside of him, and that's his toxicity, even
Mm-hmm.
as a gay black man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all of the nuance of this intricate character who loves his people though, right? Like, and just was like, yo, I'm not perfect,
Right.
but I love y'all enough to tell y'all about yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that I honored that. I truly I teach workshops on him all the time with my kids and just pick apart those nuances. Um, but yeah, other than that, I would say I think honestly, I think poetry is in a good place right now.
Mm.
Um, just the recognition it's getting and the opportunities that poets are
Yes.
getting.
Yes.
Um, that is a this is a beautiful space to be in, to see like the art of poetry, the art of
Okay.
spoken word at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
just I'm curious, I'm excited and curious to see like how far can this thing go. And
Who
just like
knows? You might be able to get up there. And I have a friend who Talam Lacey. He got nominated
I met Talam
for a
for
Grammy.
the Grammy, yeah.
He got nominated, which was so dope.
That's 2025. It's in the works. Don't get me wrong. But
So
that's a dope stage. But it's like just look at the foundation that people like even before us that we came around. Like it's always been pushing borders. Like
mm-hmm.
even the Apollo thing right now. Like I had to audition for the Apollo
Mm-hmm.
to do Amateur Night, but it's like people are throwing whole shows, whole poetry shows at the Apollo, right? Like that's a whole different
Are you
experience. Like,
serious? Is
yeah,
that's new?
that's happening this November.
Well, I need
Um,
some information on that. I need you to
yeah,
send me some info on
people
that
are
because I
throwing
would
whole
definitely like to
poetry
check that
shows
out.
there. Or like Voices in Power, the platform Voices in Power that's based out of Philly, but they travel. They're like a traveling open mic, and they've been using social media to connect to a lot of people. So I think we're in a good position right now.
Wow.
I'm stepping away from all of that because like I just have
I
other
don't think
things
you
I want to
should.
focus on.
I don't think you should.
I want to do more.
You could do both.
I want to do more behind the camera stuff. You
Okay.
know, more screenwriting, more. Like I was able to get this dope opportunity with Dove, where it's like they had me write a poem and star in a commercial
Mm-hmm.
for a campaign that they're running, and I that kind of opened my eyes to be like, okay, y'all paid me a bag for me to do this, but it's like there's a team of people who can't do what I do that
Mm-hmm.
are getting way more. So it's like, how
Wow.
do I get over it? Like that's where I'm at. It's like, how do I get into the writer's room? Because
Mm-hmm.
even as the writer of this poem that I'm reciting on camera and I'm a star character, I'm still not considered a writer. I'm considered talent,
Mm.
right? So
I
that
see.
opened my eyes, like, oh, this is the writing y'all respect. You want me to write a scene for you? Cool, I can do that too. So that's where
Mm.
I'm at with it.
Cool. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate
did a
you.
script. My script got 3 nominations in the Independent Movie Film Festival like
That's what's up.
8 years ago. I didn't continue because at that time my son had just passed
Yeah.
away. So I was like, all that's over. I ain't doing none of
Hmm.
that. But it keeps coming back around. And every time it come back around, I'm like, it looks at me like, hello. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get back to you in a minute. Just give
Yo,
me a
Mona,
minute.
you know how many recycled storylines Hollywood is using right now? How
Yeah.
many times can they make the Lion King over? How many
Uh-huh.
times can they, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have nothing. They need
Mm,
us. So it's
right.
like, you might as well pick that back up.
I'm thinking about it. We see.
I
We
said it
see.
first, just so
I
you
know
know.
that's right. I hear you, baby. I hear you. Question 5. What
Okay.
role does personal experience play in your poetry?
So honestly,
Oh, wait,
and
I think I skipped a lot. Skipped one.
no, you went to five. You
Okay,
went to
right one.
five.
Okay. What?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think I don't know, I battle with this, right? Like, so all of my poems are parts of me,
Okay.
right? Like I haven't written a poem yet that didn't draw from, if not the experience, at least the emotion of the
Okay.
experience. But I do think that as an artist, like we kind of have freedom to create different worlds in our poetry.
Okay.
And I think I do that more with the rap. Like I'm able to just like be a little bit more creative about points of views
Okay.
in rap because I don't feel chained to it. I feel like it's an alter ego already. But with my poetry, I'm kind of tied to my identity and my eye and like observing the world as myself.
Okay.
So like it's 100% me. And that's why I don't have a stage name. like
Well, your
everything that I'm
stage
saying,
name is Hattress.
that's my name. So it's like
Right. So, well, that's who you are, Hattress.
so that's the point I'm making. It's like, yo, I
Yeah.
don't have like I don't have
No
no
alter
shields.
ego.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not hiding. Like this is
I
my most
see.
vulnerable self. I'm
Wow.
gonna talk to you about losing my mother. I'm gonna talk to you about losing my daughter. I'm gonna talk to you about not not having a good relationship with my father. I'm gonna talk to you
Okay.
about my fears and I'm a boast about my triumphs, right? Like, and you're gonna be annoyed at me, and it's cool, but I'm a person. So it's like that's who I am.
Right. I'm human.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. This is dope.
and I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. All right, number 6. How do you approach the revision process? How do you find it challenging or rewarding?
I hate it, but I do it. I hate it.
I hate it. I hate it.
Everybody, I hate it. That's not my fave at all. Quite ghetto. 0 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend. But no, it's important. It's definitely important, especially so when it comes to like I'm working on my second book right now. So
Okay.
I'm in my revision process of that.
Okay.
And sometimes the shit would make you want to scrap the whole thing and be
I
like,
know.
no, it's not gonna make like you know what I mean. So it's like for that, you have it's a balance, it's a delicate balance of ego and humility at the same time.
Okay.
So that's what I'm learning that tightrope. Like I'm learning that like yo, my first draft is never gonna be my best.
Okay.
Even if I feel like it. Even if I feel chained to these words, like is I can do better
Mm,
at this. And then maybe I'm not supposed to do better right now. Maybe I don't even have the words right now. Maybe this needs to sit for a little bit and become its own thing.
mm.
And so just like allowing time to be the filter sometimes is I'm anxious. Like I just like let's do it, let's do it. And sometimes the story that you need to tell, you can't tell right now.
I get that.
Yeah.
That might be where I'm at right now. Because, I just kind of like dropped out the scene completely. I went from coming to shows and now it's like, what the fuck are you doing? What
But I
are
mean,
you
we also
doing?
had a whole pandemic. It
You
was a
had
lot
a
of shit
whole
going on. You know
pandemic,
what I
right?
mean?
And after the pandemic, it's like, all right, well, what are you doing now?
Ain't no
Right.
such thing as after the pandemic. I still feel like we in a pandemic. Like I
I
still
can
haven't
agree.
even processed the
I can
situation
agree.
that's going on.
I
Like
can agree. I can agree. I can
I am
definitely agree with
altered
that.
for life. I don't know what's going on.
Yo,
I need
that's
a
so fucked
check.
up.
That's what I need.
I don't mean to laugh at you, but that shit is so true.
I need a
Like
check. They better pay
everybody,
me.
I understand because everybody is going through something
Facts.
after COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Post COVID, everybody's still like, yo, what the fuck was that?
What's happening? Like what is this alternate reality we're living in right now? Like
What matrix is this?
right? Like so I still haven't processed this. That's why
Yeah.
I don't go outside like that either, Mona. So I get you. Like I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going
Yo,
on over here.
if I ain't
This
gotta
is
go
weird.
nowhere, I'm right here. Mona, you should come out for what? So I could be
Hmm.
there for 10 minutes and go home? Nah, I'm good. I just stay home and chill.
I use that time to do my writing.
Exactly. And I use that time
Just chill, relax. I
to
feel you.
just kind of chill and think about how I'm going to take over the world. How about that?
Talk that.
That's what I be
Planning
trying to
and
do.
strategy. That's what we here
Trying to
for.
figure this shit out because something got to
Or
happen. I can't
or
stay right here. I got to keep moving. What can I do that's a little different from what I've been doing right now?
mm-hmm.
Because every little bit makes a difference.
That's progress.
If that makes sense, right?
Nah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Right.
How is your son? I hear him in the
You
background.
doing the most over there.
It's okay.
He
How old is
chilling.
he now? How old is he
He's
now?
4 now. He's
Yeah, he
4.
about time for him to get a job in a minute.
Yo, I'm saying the same thing. He woke me up this morning talking about, yo, I need a new tablet. I'm like, yo, you got tablet money? I ain't never said nothing like that. I felt like my mother just now. I was just like, you got tablet money? What you talking about
You
right
got money for a tablet, and you gonna eat it. You gonna eat a tablet for dinner?
now? Right. It's crazy.
Oh, hey, James, my cousin is hanging out with us. Oh shit, my
What's up,
cousin,
James? Thanks for
my
coming in with
cousin.
us.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's an
I
enlightening conversation. That's a fact because
enlightening
Mona is leading
conversation.
the way.
All
Word.
right, number 7. What do you hope readers will take away from your poetry?
I don't know, Mona. These are hard questions. Because like it just depends on what collection of poetry we talking about, right? Like, so with my first book, what I wanted the readers to take away was to show just the nuance of Black men
Okay.
and just growing from that teenage angst to becoming a man and all of the things that you go through
Okay.
and all of the things that they said we're supposed to go through, that and then some. So like, yeah, I'm gonna be angry a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Blackness. Yeah, I'm gonna fall in love. Yeah, I'm gonna get my feelings hurt. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat. Yeah, I'm gonna do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just all of these things and like putting it in a way that's digestible, not only for adults but for the young readers
Right.
to understand that, like, yo, y'all not alone in figuring this thing out. Like, so that's what I wanted. My next book is called uh Ashes Before the Flame.
Okay.
And that's more of my fatherhood journey. That's
Okay.
more of the realizations that I came to about manhood and how I had it so fucked up. Like, I didn't know anything,
Mm-hmm.
and how I was listening to so many other people's definition of what being a man is,
Mm.
um, until I finally found my own version
Mm-hmm.
and okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want that book to just serve as a living testimony for young men.
Is that going to be
Um,
dedicated to your son?
my first book is dedicated to him. That's going to be
Okay.
dedicated to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, who knows? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I might change my mind when I write the dedication.
Okay.
But it's more so it's dedicated to all men,
Okay.
um, and all fathers specifically,
Mm-hmm.
because it focuses. So the book is about fatherhood. It's about my
Mm-hmm.
journey into fatherhood, but it's also about my relationship with my father,
Okay.
um, and just understanding the absentee father epidemic.
Okay.
And then sometimes your father might fall in between absentee and present, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't really there, but they wasn't really not there, kind of thing.
Right.
So just being real about those situations, like,
And you're there for your son because I see your pictures and your video and your conversations, and
yeah, that's my broke
he's
best
a
friend,
hot,
yo.
he's a mess, that little baby.
He had cancer, so it's like I be understanding that. I'm a Pisces, so we both water signs. It's just mad emotions in here all the time. His
Yeah.
mother's a Gemini, so it's like she got the structure, and we just be emotionally every which
All
way
over the
but
place.
loose. So it works. It works. It works.
I remember when you first told the crew over here at Red Lobster how you was gonna be a dad.
Yeah, I was hyped. Was how
Yes,
I was
yes, you
hyped.
were. I
I was hyped.
remember that you was hype,
I
and
was
I said
hyped.
to
Yeah.
myself, "Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
how it is.
tough. It's
It is
tough.
tough."
It's tough, but it's rewarding. It's super
Mm-hmm.
rewarding. So I just appreciate it. I think I
Yeah.
think I think my journey up until now has been preparing me for this, and I don't take this responsibility and this gift lightly.
Right.
I mean, so
Yeah.
I'm just blessed. I'm happy that I could
Absolutely.
be here, bro.
Absolutely. All right. Number 8. Can you share a moment that holds special significance for you and explain why?
So share a poem or a moment.
A moment. A poem.
What you reading?
I don't know what the fuck I'm reading. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see. I
I
don't have
was
my
like, what?
wait a minute. I don't have my glasses on. Let me
I
get my life
told
together.
post
I
COVID, it's the Matrix. The words be moving.
I gotta
Like,
get my life together. Me and these I gotta put my I don't want to wear my glasses, right? Because if I put them on, then I have the glare, right?
got
So
you from
now
the
I look
light. Yeah,
crazy with
yeah.
the glare. So I take the glasses off and I'm like this because I can't
Just let me
anyway.
read the questions. I got you.
Read the
Um,
questions. Read the goddamn
Can you
question.
share a poem that holds special significance for you and
Hmm.
explain why? You mean like do the poem? That's what you mean?
Share a poem that holds a special significance for you and explain why.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I hear
have
you.
you don't have to share the whole poem. You could
Oh.
share the name of the poem and what the significance of that poem means to you. Or you could do us a solid and share maybe a
Or you
few
can do us a
or a
solid.
few right and share a few lines of the poem and and then give us the explanation,
Oh, oh, okay. Um, so the poem that I would, the poem that has special significance for me is a poem that I wrote called 10 Things I Hate About Your God.
Mhm.
Um, Now that sounds crazy, right? And I think I was playing with the irony of the whole concept of the poem was to explain that I've been in situations to lose my faith more times than I can count.
Okay.
And you come to a understanding that like God is going to touch you, right? Like, and it's certain people's lives are to remain faithful, and God is going to put situations in your life to kind of not just test you, but to fortify your faith.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do the whole poem. I'll start with certain.
You could
I'll
do
do
a
some
couple of lines. It's a couple of lines is cool.
um damn, that's crazy because I ain't do that poem in mad long.
Oh Lord.
Um, yeah, I'm rusty, Mona. I'm rusty. Chill, bear with me.
Uh-huh.
Uh, 10 things I hate about your God. One, if religion is man made and God made man, then how did he let us get it so wrong? Isn't your God funny that way? After the collection plate has swallowed our taxes and prayers ascent into the air, when drums and snares are done evoking spirits that may or may not have ever been there, and when speaking in tongues makes no sense to dead ears, just where was your God? Two, the way he runs me dry and twists me out like the rag laid in sun. What happens to a raisin left out? Probably what happens at crucifixion. Probably what happened to Jesus. Wait, am I Jesus? Three, how come Jesus don't look like me?
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, I heard he faced fire and brimstone the same way and gave his life for those who could care less for me or for them or for us for that matter. I know all too well the parable of open hands and full cups. Now, I made that up, but it's a brilliant story of unrecognized existence to show God doesn't even mention me in your Bible. For I wrote a letter to God some years ago. He still has yet to write me back. Five, I prayed for a sign one day on an empty highway under sorrow skies, going faster than I should have. I prayed for a sign. Drunk off my own resentment and a bladder full of that night's whiskey, I prayed for a sign and swallowed the silence as I was served. Six, my mother used to call me her heart. She never told me that it was filled with cancer.
Mm.
Seven, yo, God made cancer for black folks. Like he made chitlin for black folks and privilege for white folks, but isn't he just funny that way? Eight, that time I tried to swallow myself whole in an empty bathroom, 2 pills away from that shit Morpheus was talking about. You see, I fancy myself a black Neo, and no, not Nazi. Although I wonder what it feels like to kill without being called a hate group, what it feels like to demand life just by being, or better yet, what it's like to burn my own cross to the ground. Nine, I have been killed by my peers too many times to recollect each one, and I have still yet to resurrect. Sometimes faith could be a funny lesson in resilience that you only learn in death.
Mm.
Yo, God is funny that way, right? 10. Faith is the reason why I'm still writing this letter to God on this day. Pen shaking with grief. What if faith is just the practice of unrequited love? What if unrequited love is what prepared me for this life? What if, yo, God isn't that funny after all?
Mm.
That's my poem.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God. Ooh. Um, explain why. Um, why did you write that poem? Is there,
Um, so I wrote that poem specifically to talk about suicide.
mm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
I've struggled with that in my past, in my early like 20s.
mm-hmm.
And so every situation in there is a true situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not a lie. Like the part where I'm like in a lonely bathroom, 2 pills away from shit Morpheus was talking about. Like
Mhm, mhm.
that was how I attempted, right? Like, and I don't think the numbers show that black men are prone to that, right? Like, but we
Yes.
don't talk about it at all. So like that was just me trying to make anybody else feel less alone about their
Right.
journey and their struggle and their rehabilitation. And also fortify my faith in God. And I was looking, I wrote it at a time where I was in disbelief. And I started writing from a place of, I hate you. And it
Mm,
came to the conclusion, for me to do all of this and to go through all of this,
mhm.
I really love you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you must love me for keeping me here. So that's why that poem was written.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My
A
bad.
tr
It got heavy real quick. My
No, no,
fault.
no, 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 no. That poem is dope. I love your work. Your work is for me, your work is phenomenal.
I appreciate that for real.
Yeah. And
Thank
I
you.
get that everybody has that moment in time where they feel like, I just want to end it all. I
Mm-hmm.
went through that 8 years ago. I was like, I'm done. You took part of my heart was gone,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
And I tried to, what do you say, that invoke the
Evoke the
angst.
angst of extend. I
I
can't
can't
read.
see because I don't have my glasses. But yeah, that's my cousin. But yeah, I went through that and tried to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
take my life when my
Mm-hmm.
son died. And I'm grateful that it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That God said, "Nah, Negro, we
You
ain't
got more
going
to
there.
do.
You got shit to
You
do,
got more to
bro."
do. Exactly.
He was like, "Bruh, you got stuff to do, so you get your shit together." I say that all the time, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
saying it so much lately. Like even my homegirl, I'll be like, she told me, "Mona, I need you to send me a voice note saying, get your shit together." So she has it as her. I think it might be her ringtone or something.
That's what's
Was
up.
I'd be like, "Yo, get your shit together," and I say it all the time. And every morning when I wake up, I say, "Thank you, God," and I say, "Yo, Mona, get your shit together. We
Mm.
got to get it together. We got shit to do."
No, like
And that's
literally,
yeah.
my son is 4. That means when he was born, I was 30.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like I must have been like 24
Mm-hmm.
around that time. Um, so like that's 10 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and if I would have done that, he wouldn't have been
He
here.
wouldn't be here.
So it's just like I'm
And
I'm
if
I'm
I
happy
would
that I
have
was kept.
Exactly, and if I woulda did it, we wouldn't be here. Man, everything that has happened in my life, from back then, back in the day, because I'll be 60 years old in like 2 years, right?
Well, you better
Uh,
stop it. You about to be
yeah,
25.
I'll be 59 years old in January, right? And all the stuff that I've been through, I can tell you that God has been there. He had to
Mm.
be, because
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "What the hell are you doing now?" I
There.
keep saying, "What are you doing now? I gotta keep saving your ass. I gotta keep. What are you doing?
Yo, I've had so many experiences like that where I know God is like, yo, why are you there?
Why?
Like,
What are you? It's like, what are
what's
you
happening
doing?
right now, bro?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Get it together."
I get it. I get
You
it.
know. So and as the older you get, like now, I'm at the age where I'm like, oh, the light bulb finally goes off, and it's like, okay, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand. Get your shit
Mm-hmm.
together, Mona. Get it together.
And I
Yeah.
also I also understand like we learn through like we're humans, we learn through experience. So it's like if I didn't go through certain things, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to connect with my son. I wouldn't be able to connect with the youth that I
Right.
advocate for. Like I wouldn't like I had to go through certain things to get
Right.
where people are and right now and be able to reach them.
I agree. because every experience, there are experiences that you and I have gone through, that there is going to be someone that the only person that can help them
Mm-hmm.
is you,
Mm-hmm.
or the same for me.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? So we're here for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
point
And
blank.
especially as artists, and that's why we
Eh,
write, because like they can't
right,
articulate it sometimes, and that's
right,
okay. But it's like we can.
right.
And Brother Earl told me that was one of his gems he gave to me, because I was just like, yo, I'm kind of over this performance stuff, blah blah blah. And he was like, yo, listen, like, you write for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you perform for them,
Right. I
so
heard
you
him
got to
say that
figure out.
too.
Yeah, he was like,
I
you
heard
got to figure
somebody else.
out.
Heard another poet say that. You
It was
right?
real. I had to
Yeah.
think about it. I was like, oh, so like he was like, yo, you don't know who you saving.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
for sure.
you right,
All
cool.
right. So number 9, how do you balance? Okay, I can't see.
How you
How do
balance
you
form and
balance
freedom
form
in
and
your poetry?
freedom in your poetry?
I don't. I'm more of
Mm-hmm.
a free spirit. I do try different things, especially for the book. Like for the written
Okay.
page, I play with different formats and different forms. But as far as like spoken word, nobody cares about form.
Mm-hmm.
And I've realized form is a lost art in like the spoken word arena. Um,
Mm.
because there's a rubric for it, blah blah blah. But like I do really value form. I do value,
Okay.
especially if you're able to do certain things within that constraint. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also, why I like rapping so much because it's 16 bars.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I mean? Like it's already structured. You just got to figure
Right.
out how to say the coolest shit within the brackets that you have.
Right.
Um, so like that's where I'm at with it right now. But as far as like, I do also very much believe in the freedom of like, how do you feel? How is this coming out of you? And
Okay.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Okay.
makes sense to everybody. Nah, I don't.
Hmm. It is what it is, right?
It's what it is. It's art,
Mm-hmm.
and
It is.
sometimes art isn't here to be information,
Mm.
right? Art is just supposed to make you feel.
Mm.
Like, did it? Oh, all
Make
right,
you
cool.
think.
Even if you felt confused,
Make you
cool.
think. Make you think.
Mm-hmm.
Make you feel. Make you wonder. Make you say, huh, you know.
Mm-hmm. And make you build other worlds
Right.
outside of just one thing that you're
Right.
looking at or reading. Now
Right.
you're somewhere else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the beauty of art.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I see
And
you. I see you. I
all right
see you.
now, your girl got it going on over here.
Mona the journalist. Okay.
Mona and AI. How about that?
Chat GPT be working. I'll be doing my
Hell
workshops on
yeah,
there.
as Chat GPT be working. All right,
Uh,
number 10.
what
What
do
do you
you think
think
is the
is the
most
most
important quality
important?
of a successful poem?
Yes.
It depends on what your definition of success is, right?
Mm,
I don't care about none of that shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm at a weird place, Mona. I'm at a really weird place of like I don't care about being successful in the eyes of like the
I
poets.
think we all go through that
Yeah.
when we
So
first start, when we start the poetry and, the whole notoriety thing. And
no, I used to care though. I
I know
did.
this
I
is what I'm
did.
saying. I
I
understand that
did.
because I used to feel like that too. I'd be like, Mona, Mona, how you doing? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, they know Mona, they know
Mm-hmm.
me. And, you know, it feels good to be known. It feels good to people to hear you, for you to hear people say your name like Norm and
Mm-hmm.
from Cheers. Everybody knows your name. I love that. But there comes a time it's like, you know what? I really just need a moment, man.
I wouldn't even say that for me. I think for me it's more when you say a successful poem. Well,
Mm,
when someone says a successful poem, I have to assess what are they gauging to be
mm-hmm.
success, right? Are
Okay.
you gauging virality, but just because it did 2 million views on the internet, Does that make it a successful poem? Are you gauging, or are you gauging the lives that it impacted, and just like how much of a change in agent it was for either the conversation or for actual people's lives? Because I view that as success.
Okay.
So like having views on a poem isn't
Mm-hmm.
successful to
Okay.
me. But then I also understand the game in which we're in, right? Like, so in order for people to even, if your art is trash and if your art is great and nobody sees it, is your art great? Right? Like, because
Yeah,
like,
it's so great. It's just nobody's seen it.
yes, but is it? Right? Because it's like if nobody has seen it,
Mm-hmm.
how great can it be?
It's great to you.
To you. Am I the
Right.
world? Right. So it's
Mm.
like I'm battling that, but I'm at
Okay.
the point now where it's like I'm just putting out how I feel, what I feel, and like whatever. Right.
Right.
Like, so it's like I'm not caring about the views, and like if I don't get appreciated in that way in my life, at least I loved. Like, that's where I'm
Okay.
at with it. Like,
I
at least
see.
I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gave
I
my
get it.
all to this, and I worked on this until my dying day.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the stories. I'm not leaving here with no art in me. Trust me.
Mm.
I've made a promise to myself.
Wow.
I'm not leaving here with no art in me.
That's a dope line right there. I'm not leaving with no art in me. That shit is
I'm not
dope.
leaving here. Everything's going.
I hear
So,
you. That's why I do so much. I do a lot. I do this. I do poetry. I'm a house music artist. I'm a photographer.
mhm,
I make natural skincare that I've been making for like almost 30 years.
I know. And you
Yeah,
got some albums on the low that nobody
I
you don't even
got
be talking about.
I got 3 albums, self-published books,
Exactly.
I got 3 self-published books and a million CD music. I got a bunch of music out all over the internet. And I'm just like, I want to say it's something so when I'm gone, my grandkids or their kids could say, "Oh, that's grandma. That's
Yep.
my grandmother. That
You
was
know,
my
so crazy.
grandmother."
You know, so crazy. My son knows. Like, even he's 4 now, so he recognizes all that. But even when he was younger, I had did a commercial for Remy Martin, the
Hmm.
cognac,
Hmm.
and they would play it on like YouTube. So it's like he'd be watching YouTube, and my ad would come up, and
Hmm.
he'd be like, "That's Daddy, that's Daddy." Like, so, like
Yeah.
little moments like that. It's like, oh
Yes.
man, this is kind of fire. So I
Yeah.
I I am I do want to keep that energy going,
Hmm.
um, but that's I don't view that as success. Like, if everybody feels like that, it felt successful because it's like that's my son. He sees me on
Right.
this stage, and it's like that's something he could take this further than I could ever. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I'm just planting a seed. Like, here,
Hmm.
if you never see me on TV ever again, whatever, but you could do it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that. I got so much stuff that all over, like I try to separate it because one, I do erotic poetry. I
Hmm.
don't put a lot of the erotic poetry stuff up because of my grandkids.
Gotcha. That makes
And when
sense.
my mother was alive, she would be on and I'd be like, "Ma, can you please get off of Facebook because I can't do what I need to do
I can't
because
operate the way I want
I
to
can't
operate right
operate
now.
right." And she would laugh at me and I would tell her, "Ma, you need to get off. Like you really need to get off. Or I'm going to block you. I'm gonna have to block you." And we would laugh about that, but I keep it separate.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So I've been trying to write more regular poetry because I want to create another book of
Okay.
you know everything okay?
Yeah, everything's okay. What's up, baby? You going to sleep? What's wrong? Come here.
Let me see that boy.
Say hi to Miss Mona.
Hi, Miss Mona.
Hi, cutie pie. I know you. You don't know me, but I know you.
Can't hear you, but she said, "I know you. You don't know me, but I know
That's right.
you."
I know you. When you was this little. I know you when it was that little.
You gonna help mommy decorate the tree?
I help her like
Go help her. Go help
Yeah,
mommy decorate. Go,
go help
you
her.
gotta help
Go help
mommy
us some
decorate.
money.
on the top too,
Huh?
and I help her on the top.
Good job. But daddy needs to finish this, okay? So I need you to go in
Mhm.
the living room.
Okay.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye, baby.
Bye. Can you close the door? Thank you. Sure.
Yeah.
You're welcome. My bad.
I forgot what we were saying. All right, let's move on to the next question. Next question. How has your poetry evolved over the years? I know it's evolved because I remember when you first started to where you are now. I know. I hear it.
Yeah.
I hear it. Yeah, I hear
It's
it.
hard. So evolution is hard when you're in it. It's hard for me to. I don't know if I could pinpoint exactly what it is, but I would say two ways, right?
Okay.
I think when I first started writing, that's the freest I ever felt. And there's a beauty of being able to write and be authentic and tell your truth when no one knows you.
Got it.
There's a beauty there. There's like a very raw honesty there.
I understand that because
Right?
I would rather go to a poetry event where
When
nobody knows me.
exactly. Because you could try different things. You could
Right.
pull a poem out the stash that's
Yep.
saying some real crazy things that you don't
Right.
know. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But as you progress in this, still wanting to be vulnerable, still wanting to tell the truth,
Right.
with all of the relationships that you gathered along the way, it becomes a little difficult. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I
everybody's
get it.
offended. Everybody's offended about anything these days, especially in the times that we live in right now. So it's like there's so much of my truth that I negotiate with other people's feelings.
Okay.
And I miss that raw getting on stage, just let me talk my shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I miss that version. Now I have to be a lot more cognizant and conscious on who am I offending? Who is going to be harmed by my freedom of speech right now?
Okay.
So yeah, but as far as like evolving, as far as like content based, like I think that I just try new things. I like to try new things. I like to suck at something. Like, I don't want to be good at like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna try something that I'm horrible at.
Right.
Until I'm like decent, and then I'm gonna move on to something else.
Right. And move on to something different. I
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
my life.
I don't know. I've tried other forms of poetry and I just
Nah, it wasn't your thing. Couldn't stick with it. But you was a rapper too, though. You had bars, so it's like
I'm not a rapper. It just sounds like it. I'm from I'm born in the 60s. I was watching hip hop grow in the beginning in the 80s from 1980, 81, 82. So that part, yeah, and I hung around a bunch of 5%ers and all of them and the what you call them, the new the old throwback hip hop artists and the tatters, so I grew up around all that stuff. So you can't help but
get that cadence. You sound like a rapper sometimes.
Sometimes I do. Yeah, there's a couple of pieces that I know I've spent. I'm like, oh shit, but I'm not a rapper.
I'm not a rapper. That's my TikTok name.
I'm not a rapper.
Yeah, I'm not a rapper. And all I post is raps.
That's so funny. All right, number 12.
Hit me.
Do you engage with other art forms like music or visual arts in your work?
Well, duh. So like I am really falling in love. I'm gonna be honest, rap was my first love.
Okay.
Rap was my first love. Like, I idolized all of the like true hip hop purists.
Okay.
And like I'm talking about like listening to raps and going to school, and instead of like taking notes, I'm trying to write these bars off of memory.
Okay.
From like, and just to see it on paper, to see the structure of how they're putting these rhymes together to do, because like for me, like rhyming sometimes could be like a math equation. I gotta see it on paper to like visualize like how is he setting this up. Like I'm looking at
Okay.
the rhyme schemes, I'm looking at the syllables, like what rhymes where, blah blah, and it's like that became ingrained in my art, which is wild because like in my poetry I don't rhyme.
Okay.
Like my poetry is more focused on telling that story. So it's like I love to get to use that part of the craft in
Mm-hmm.
rapping. As far as visual arts, I do have in my mind, I do have a lot of visual art projects that I do want to get off the ground. It's
Okay.
just difficult working with people. So it's like I'm learning how to record videos and edit videos myself because you know how that go. Like you know what I mean, it's just hard.
Record video and edit. That's easy. I could teach you how to do that. That's so easy.
I've been learning. I've been using CapCut, and just like working on lighting and understanding where the light should go. You see how like
Mm-hmm.
it's horrible lighting in here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, um, I think I'm a invest in a camera like a quality camera for my birthday.
Okay.
Um, and take it from there. But yeah, I do have some visual art
You
projects in my
can. You
mind.
don't need a camera. You could use get a good iPhone and do it now because now everything iPhone is just so dope when it comes to pictures and video. You could shoot a whole
It
movie
is.
on your iPhone.
So I don't know if you've been following my my Instagram page, but
No, I
I've
haven't.
been yeah, you don't love me, Mona. It's all good.
I do. I just be so busy with life,
I got
man. I
you.
don't.
I
I don't
got
be
you.
on like. I don't be on it. Like I don't be online like that. I just get on, do what I got to do, and I'm
Nah,
off.
same here, same here. But
Yeah.
I've been on a little content spree where I'm just like,
Okay.
yo, I'm gonna post content, make sure.
I need to add more content too. I need to do that. I need to learn how to do a few things. I'm gonna learn though. I'm gonna learn
It's
how to do.
important because people only like I'm learning like people value content so much so I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking of incorporating it into like my educational aspects, like
Okay.
trying to teach the kids through content, like about if we're gonna do like a stop the violence thing, how do we do skits
Yeah.
on like and still make it funny but still get the message across
Got
about
it.
like yo we shouldn't be killing each other, like you know what I'm saying, like
Mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm.
use the content the right way. So like
Right.
I'm just trying to brainstorm those ideas now.
Okay. All right. Number 13. What challenges do you face as a contemporary poet?
How honest you want me to be in this?
Honest. Be honest. This is what it's for.
Mona, these poets are weird. Um, that's what I've been. That's the challenge that I've been facing right now. These motherfuckers are weird as hell,
These new
and
people. These new people.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
they weird as fuck. And like, um, I come from an era where I was actually outside,
Okay.
so I developed a different type of social skills. Um, I also come from an era where it's like before I ever did poetry. Um, I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to meet people. I knew how to
You
hold
still know how to.
space.
You know how to do that. What are you
No,
talking about? You
so
don't know
that's
how to do
so
that.
that's no, that's my point. I said before I ever did poetry, I knew how to do that. Right?
But I'm saying I've seen you at shows and stuff, and you know how to do that.
Yes, but what I'm saying is there's a different level of ego from a person who just got a clap and a snap and now
Okay.
they the man,
Mm.
and a person who been the man, like not even on some like you know what I'm saying, not like that, like but like
Okay.
I can walk in a space. I don't know if you Joe Schmo, blah blah blah. We gonna chop it up and we gonna meet as people.
Right.
And then some people are their persona,
Mm-hmm.
and when you start picking at that in real life, you know it gets a little weird. So
Okay.
that's my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge is like managing these fake relationships
Mm.
because they are important, right? Like they are useful to a certain
Okay.
extent.
Okay.
And so like trying to navigate all of these fake relationships who or with people who don't move with the same integrity that I move with, or people who don't move who have the same value system that I have, and still holding space for it and
Mm.
not like cursing them the fuck out or decking somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I ha-
Like,
yes, I
yeah.
definitely understand that because there was a time I had to just like back up because Lord have mercy, I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah. And
Oh,
don't
I
get me
don't want to
wrong,
have
I'm
to
not
fight.
a
I don't want to fight
fight
nobody.
nobody.
I
And
won't
be
fight
honest with
because I
you,
might get beat up.
I'm not above condemnation. Like, you know what I'm
You heard
saying?
me?
Like, you say you don't want to get beat up.
You don't want to get beat up.
But all jokes aside, like I'm not above critique, right? Like
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've offended people or they felt some sort of way about me, blah blah blah. But I'm never above a conversation.
Okay.
And like people move weird and like with no explanation at all. So it just leaves me like, yo, do we have a problem or do you have a problem with yourself? Or like, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't got the time to figure that shit out.
Right.
It's like whatever. Cool.
You see how I used to move. I move like a butterfly. Hey, how you doing?
Understand.
Hey, sugar, how you doing? Hey, sweetie, how
Yeah,
you
I don't see
doing?
you way
Hey,
more
sexy, how
tactful.
you doing?
You
Yeah,
way
you
more
know, and
tactful.
I could be like, I can't stand this motherfucker. How you doing, baby? I love you. You're such a la 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 whatever.
So that's my problem. I would tell them like, yo, I don't really fuck with you. But I see like I would tell
Right,
people that to their face because it's like
right. No,
and
I'm not.
it's not with the thought process of like bullying, but with the
Mm,
thought process of like, yo, we gonna talk about this thing or we're not, right? Like we can reconcile or we don't have to, but I'm gonna let you know I'm not gonna be fake with you. I'm gonna be like, yo, I really don't vibe with you. I don't vibe with
right.
you, and this is why.
Mm.
And
I'm not. I'm not giving no explanations. I'm like, I'm out. How you doing, Mona? What happened? Where you been? Nah.
I
And
get
that's
it.
it.
I
That's
get
it.
it.
Because if I say what I really want to say, people ain't gonna like me. Because my I think my thinking is it's a circus up here.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. Call it what you will, but it's a circus up here. So I kind of learned how to just like
Yeah,
sometimes it's better not just say nothing. Let me just mind my business.
let me tell you, I got into a fight at the gay bar for a political event, and I realized it's a poetry show, and I realized like, yo, I don't know if I'm fit for this scene
Uh-huh.
right now. I
Uh-huh.
was just
Uh-huh.
like, yo, what's happening? And I didn't come outside for like a 2 weeks. I was like, yo, if somebody caught this on cam, this looks bad. This is
Wow.
horrible promotion. This is horrible branding. But then I had to take a step back and be like, yo, like people are weird.
Yeah.
And like I can't, that's why I don't, the people I keep in my space are like, some of them are dope poets and some of them
Yeah.
are rappers, but it's
Yeah.
like, before all of that, they're dope people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I keep those people around. Like I'm not going to just flock to the next fire poet or like, you know what I mean? Just because like I gotta fill you out. Like I don't know. I
I
didn't had too many
understand.
situations in this thing with
Mm-hmm.
like weirdos.
I understand. I'm grateful I never really had to deal with anything like that. Because like I said, I'm like a social butterfly. I just
Hmm.
how you doing? I love you. How you doing? What's going on? Your poem was dope. Meanwhile, in my mind, I'm like, I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm
But
ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. Yeah, it is what it is.
Hmm.
I just told a whole lot about me that I really don't share with people. So
My fault. I got you out here opening up.
got me out here opening up my
I'm
shit.
good. I'm good.
All
As
right,
long
here
as
we
we
go.
keeping it real, I love that.
Right. How about that? Right. All right. How does the current cultural and political climate influence your writing?
Of course. Mm, I think right now at this point in my life, I'm always gonna have cultural and political undertones in my
Okay.
work.
Okay.
It may not be the focus,
Okay.
right? But it's always going to be from that lens in some shape, form, or fashion. I think it more influences just the platforms that I speak on, right?
Right.
Like I think it influence. I don't know if you have Threads. Are you familiar with Threads?
Yes, I have one.
Okay, so like I'll speak more politically on Threads and culturally
Hmm.
politically on Threads because um, I can reach more people doing that.
Okay.
On
Okay.
Instagram, I get shadow banned if I say anything that's
Okay.
social political. So I had to learn where I can interject and say certain things. But it's definitely I'm always tapped in and I have my own perspective and I
Okay.
have my own views that I don't care if you feel like is taboo, or
Okay.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a person who's gone through this experience, this life experience, and
Mm.
I'm able to hold my own opinion about this.
Okay.
And all of it doesn't all the time necessarily equate to what you think a black man would, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not with no liberal agendas. I'm not with no conservative agendas. Right is right and wrong is wrong to me. So it's
Right.
like I am able to base my opinions not from a political party, but from my own lens,
Got
and
it.
say like, hey, this is how I feel about this, that. Y'all all fucked up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I get slack for that sometimes, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Got to speak. Listen, I'm not gonna be fake with nobody, and that's just what it is.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Hmm. All right, number 15.
Oh, we on our way. Okay.
Almost done.
On our way.
Can you tell us about any upcoming projects or works you are currently working on?
Yeah, so I told you I'm working on my second book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to put that out. I'm gonna take my time with it, so I'm giving myself until next October for that to
Okay.
come out. But the spoken word album I'm working on, it's really in the start of it. Like, I literally just scheduled the studio time for this Saturday to go and
Okay.
start the beginnings of the project. I need that to come out before August of next year.
Right.
So that's what I'm diving into, giving my 100% focus on
Okay.
right now. So yeah, those are two projects that I got coming out next year. And
Hmm.
between that, I'm always going to drop shit. Like, I
Of
might put out an
course.
EP or some shit. Like, I might
I
do a
might need
chapbook.
your I might need your voice because I'm working on my second erotic um CD.
Mm.
So I
So
might
you
need
so you like gonna have like a poem where it's like a man in there too? Like, that's
I
fire.
had my first CD is oh, I gotta send you my
Who
where you gonna
narrated that one?
I did the whole thing and
Yeah,
I
but
have
like,
different male poets spitting behind my poetry. Oh, it's
oh,
so
that's
dope.
fire.
Very dope, very
That's
dope, very
fire.
dope. It's real fire. And you know, it's good.
Got you,
But I
got
might
you.
need you. So
I got you. I got you.
I'm gonna
I
send
got
you a
you.
I'm gonna send you a link so you could check it out. It's on Bandcamp. Matter of fact, for those that are listening, it's on Bandcamp. Mona
Shameless
Bode,
plug.
Monabode, and it's called I think it's called Dirty Little Secrets.
That's a
I
fire
think so.
title.
I think so. The cover of the CD is legs with fishnet stockings.
Hold on, I'm about to look it up right
My,
now.
yeah, look, it's on Bandcamp. Just type my name and it'll come up. All right, let's get to this last question. Shameless plug. Number
Honestly, I love
16.
Bandcamp because you're able to reach your audiences. I put out
Yeah,
2 mixtapes on Bandcamp and made $300. So I was like,
I got
whoa.
I didn't make no money. I made a few dollars on mine for my music, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not promoting it
You got to
properly.
promote
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
don't
went
know what
hard,
the heck
like
I'm
promoting
doing.
and
You're
sending
gonna
it to
have to
people.
show me how to do all of that. I don't know what the hell I'm
You got to
doing.
make people feel guilty. Like, you got to like send it in a text directly to them. Hey, I dropped an album. Do you have it? No. Why?
Why not? Why not? Right. All right, number 16. What advice would you give to aspiring poets looking to find their voice?
um, wow. You know what I would say to an aspiring poet looking to find their voice? I would tell them that they already found it. I think a large part of finding our voice is really just finding the confidence to use our voice,
Okay.
right? Like, that's really what it is. Like, you don't find, like, you're born with this. Like
Yeah.
everybody is born with their thing, and it's not something you find. It's something that you uncover, right? Like, it's something that you allow yourself to use. So, um, I would challenge them and kind of put the power back in their hands in that sense, and saying like, yo, you know you better than anybody.
Right.
So like, you don't have to find you, right? Like, you
Wow.
just have to show up.
Hmm.
And yeah, like that, if I could give any advice, that it took me 25 long years to figure that out. So
Hmm.
it's like, if anybody that's younger or whatever the case may be, like, yo, you are you. And the more that you lean into that, and the more that you lean into that authenticity,
Wow.
um, the better things will be, and the
Wow.
happier you will be in the process too.
Wow. That's dope.
Nah, you brought that out of me.
That's dope. I
It's all
like
freestyle. All
Yo,
freestyle.
Hattress, I am so happy to sit here with you. Thank you so much, man, for
Yo,
sitting
thank you
with
for having
me
me.
and hanging out and just, hanging out with Mona B.
No, it's always a pleasure. You got to come
Where can they
outside more.
find you? I know I need to. I ain't got nothing to do, so I just stay home. If I ain't
That's
got nothing to
cool. I have
do,
a
I
show
stay
on November
home.
23rd downtown called The Soul Tree. You should come out and check it out.
Where
Shameless
is it
plug.
at?
It's on 38th Street and 8th Avenue.
If I ain't got a ride getting there, it ain't happening, bro. I ain't traveling downtown by
We'll,
myself
fi- we'll
late at
figure it
night.
out. We'll figure it out.
If ain't
We'll figure
nobody
it out.
driving me there and making sure I get home,
We'll
I
figure
will
it
not.
out.
I
We'll
will
figure it
not
out.
be
And it's
there.
not late at night. We do the show from 6 to 9. But I got you. We'll figure it out.
6 to 9 is late for me. 8 o'clock, I'm in bed, watch TV like this. So,
With the glasses on halfway.
right with the glasses, my glasses be like this, and I'm like,
I feel you. I feel you. Nah, but where can they find me?
yeah.
My name is Hattress. It's like mattress with an H, but please don't sleep on me. I tend to have some
Ooh, I
things to
love
say.
that. I love
And
that.
you can find me on Instagram at IAM_Hattress. You can find me on Facebook at Hattress Balboa. You can find me on YouTube at Mr. Hattress. You can find me on
Mhm.
Threads at IAM_Hattress. Anywhere that you can spell mattress and change that to an H, I am there.
That's dope. That's so dope.
Saying shout out to you for
Thank you,
having me
baby.
though. I
Thank
truly
you so
appreciate the
much.
platform.
Yeah, man. Stay on when we get off. We'll talk and I'll
Okay.
want to ask you a few things. So I'm gonna just pull you out. You're gonna go. You could not take yourself out or whatever.
I don't know.
I,
Just
I
leave
got it.
studio.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Don't go nowhere. Just stay there. Do not touch studio. Don't touch
Don't
nothing.
touch
I'll
nothing.
take you. Don't touch nothing. I'll take you out. So thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and my people, my crew, my background people. This is my audience. They love me and I love them because
Shout out to y'all.
I'm telling you, I have a few. Those 8 people that are up there right now are probably the same 8 people that come to everyone that listens to every one of my show. And I
You
am so
building
grateful.
community one show at a time. That's what we hear.
Slowly but surely, slowly but
Yeah.
surely. All
Shout out
right,
to
baby. Hold on. Don't go nowhere, okay?
got you.
All right, babe. All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love hanging out with y'all. Thank you for hanging out and getting to know Hattress. Let me tell you something. Every week I'm gonna have a new poet that you will get to know about, and you may want to come out to their show if you're in New York City. I mean, we just how Mona is. I just be chilling, right? So remember you can if you want to donate to Uptown with Mona. My Cash App is Uptown with Mona with the money sign. If you want to do it, if you would like to be interviewed by Mona, it's Uptown with Mona at gmail.com. Every Monday, 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And on Thursdays at 6 p.m. on withoutwarningradio.com. Warning without the G, not warning, warning. Okay. And December 16th, 2024 at Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Ave, 7 p.m. The Naughty List. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all need to come out, get your tickets because the tickets are going fast. Y'all need to come out and hang out with us because it's going to be a night of shenanigans. So again, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I'm going to holler at y'all later. All right. Peace and love, y'all. And that's a wrap for today's show, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in to Uptown with Mona. Be sure to join us again next week for another exciting episode. Until then, I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and I'm saying peace and love. Have a wonderful day.